Gallimera, Gallimera, Gallimera. Good morning, good morning, good morning. On what I can only describe as a very grim and dull day. It's chucking it down with rain outside. I've just decided to do the broadcast from inside the house because it is not nice at all. Can I thank Amanda for a weather forecast this morning? She says, morning, Ginge. Sunday's weather, shower with heavy thunderstorms in places, temperatures 20. However, it will feel like 18 degrees, so it's going the opposite way rather than the higher way. Have a great day. So there you go. That is the weather for today. Anyway, COVID in the last 24 hours. I've got to say that the infection rate at the moment is, in fact, I'm just looking at the infection rate at the moment, and I've just realised that let me just pause for 2 seconds. Can I pause? No, I can't. Right, infection rate at the moment, I haven't put the number in for today, stupid me. Anyway, at the moment, 10 new cases were identified into the country. That was up or down on the day before where we had 11. When it comes to infection rates on the local islands, 14 new infections in Macardo, who are in green. There were 92 new infections on Corfu, which is in red. The prefecture of Catalonia, they had 2 new infections, which was down on yesterday where they had 3. That island is still in amber. As for Zakynthos, we've had 18 new infections, which is down on yesterday where we had 23. However, we are still in red as far as the local Greek traffic light system is concerned. Going on to deaths then. Deaths at the moment have risen, another record, 70 new deaths within the last 24 hours. That's up on the previous day where we had 55 new deaths. That brings the total now to 16,686 new deaths since the pandemic started. 95.3% of those people had underlying diseases or were over the ages of 70. When it comes to ICUs at the moment and critical cases, that unfortunately is now starting to creep up. 508 cases reported to you on my last report. Today I can report 530. Of that 530 new cases in hospitals, in ICUs across Greece, 328 of those are male, 202 of those are female. The average age of those people, 65 years of age, 83.2% have underlying health issues or were over the ages of 70. Now, regarding critical patients then, of that 530, 446 are unvaccinated or had been partially vaccinated, i.e. they maybe had 1 dose of the vaccine, and 84 of them were fully vaccinated. Right then, the big news story at the moment is the decision that the government it will not have horizontal local measures, as they're calling them, as concerns about vaccinated people. The spokesman Yanis Olakomando reiterated on Saturday when asked about a partial lockdown that was imposed in the Netherlands, whether Greece would be considering doing the same. Anyway, speaking to Sky TV, he said the government has a strategy and it will not deviate from it. The market will stand, society will stand, children at schools, students at universities. I don't think anyone wants to go back to a regime where we texted to go out for 2 hours. No one in education wants to go back to a computer at home, he said, stressing that the government will persist with the philosophy of measures aimed at the unvaccinated. Anyway, as long as people refuse to get vaccinated, he said, they will be obliged to take tests to go to work or participate in a series of other activities. Anyway, the general direction is we do not close again. We apply sanitary measures. There is an extensive system of controls that is applied, much more stricter. All this is in order to remain open and not to take steps backwards. So basically what they're saying there is they are not considering now doing a lockdown in the way that Amsterdam or to the Netherlands have actually gone into a partial lockdown. So again, he still wants to basically say, as long as people keep getting vaccinated, then obviously things will stay open. But at the moment, just remind you, don't forget, we went into some extra measures yesterday in regards unvaccinated people, in the fact that the amount of people that are allowed into supermarkets and shops that deal with food, the number of people allowed inside has been cut down. So only one person per 9 square meters of the space of that establishment are allowed in, whereas before we were allowed 2 people a person per 2 square meters. So at the moment, we'll wait and see. Fingers crossed we don't go into a lockdown, because one thing is for sure, lockdowns just do not work. And this is the bottom line of it. And also, you cannot close economies down for the sake of what is no more than a flu, of which 98% of people get over, even if they contract it, whether they're vaccinated or not. Don't forget, you can still be vaccinated, still get it, still spread it, and not even be aware that you have it. All right. Whereas unvaccinated people are testing twice a week if they're working. So you know straight away that whether they're clean or not, because obviously they're not allowed to go to work. So again, the craziness continues. Anyway, Greece remains among the 10 EU countries where COVID situation is deemed a very high concern, according to the European Centre for Disease Prevention and Control. They said, assessing the situation up until last Sunday, which was November the 7th, the EDC's most recent risk assessment said the overall epidemiology situation in Europe was characterized by high and rapidly increasing overall case notification rate and a low but slowly increasing death rate. Anyway, case notification rates, death rates, and hospital and ICU admissions are all forecast to increase over the next 2 weeks, the body said. Anyway, along with Greece, Belgium, Bulgaria, Croatia, Czech Republic, Estonia, Hungary, the Netherlands, Poland and Slovenia, they are at the moment in the highest category of concern. Now, 13 other countries, including Austria, Denmark, Finland, Germany, Iceland, Ireland, Latvia, Liechtenstein, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Norway, Romania and Slovakia are as of high concern, while 3 countries, Cyprus, France and Portugal, are of moderate concern, and 4 countries, Italy, Malta, Spain and Sweden, as of a low concern. Compared with the previous week, where 4 countries, that included Belgium, Finland, Liechtenstein and Poland, moved into a higher category, 5 countries, Ireland, Italy, Latvia, Lithuania and Sweden, moved to a lower category, and 21 countries stayed in the same category, which included Greece, who stayed in green. Although with our local traffic light system, various islands are in red, including Zakynthos. Anyway, another story that was going to be one of my main stories today, but that story changed within the last few hours. Government sources said that a reported earlier on Saturday about Greek forces being placed on high alert for fear of a spike of migration flows from Turkey has now been deemed not accurate. Yes, earlier media reports that had reported that all of Greece's armed forces had been placed on high alert across the country following a recent threatening statements by the Turkish president about opening the border to allow refugee flows. Government sources told the Kathameria that this is no issue deterioration of the situation. We are already, as always, there is nothing extraordinary, they added. Anyway, shortly afterwards, the Ministry of National Defence clarified that a meeting of military leadership convened on Friday by the head of the Hellenic National Defence Secretary Staff, General Konstantinos Flora, dealt with the current issues concerning various services. So there you go. It looks like the Greek forces are not on high alert, ready to rush to the borders because of the migration influx that had been threatened by Turkey. So again, game of cat and mouse still going on with with migrants at the moment, and we'll again just have to see how that plays out. Also as well, a little bit of local news for you, and I'm not sure if this is national as well, but it's definitely local for Zakynthos. Restaurants next Tuesday, November the 16th, they're going to be closed as a sign of protest for the difficult financial situation that they're experiencing, and it has become even more difficult due to the controls that have been posed on customers wanting to go into bars and restaurants. Now, the island's restaurants and bars are going to remain closed on Tuesday, 16th of November, and they've asked the government to cover part of their funding because obviously they cannot have as many customers in their bars. People can't technically go in without a PCR test, and they're also at risk of high fines as well. And they're asking for the government to give them some form of aid in the same way that the hotels were getting aid and help during the summer when the crisis of COVID was reaching certain levels, and businesses and holiday companies were obviously experiencing problems. So again, we'll see if the government are going to do everything. I personally think they're not going to do anything because their excuse will be, well, all you've got to do is make sure you check people going in, make sure your staff are aware, make sure that your staff who are not vaccinated are testing twice a week. So therefore, the ball is in your court. However, that's as may be. But if you think about the times that bars and restaurants had been closed in the past, not because they were running controls for entry to be allowed in, but because they were told just to shut as part of the lockdown, I still think there should be some kind of help, shall we say, given for those times, taken into consideration with what is going on now. A lot of businesses have gone under because of what has gone on from last year, found it difficult, maybe a struggle to survive, and maybe as the winter has come, they just need that little bit of extra help just to help them through to maybe being able to keep their business alive and running. But anyway, we'll keep an eye on that story as well. And finally, a little bit of good news for you. Okay, the Classic Athens Marathon, that has returned after a 2-year absence. And this Sunday, today, there's going to be 9,800 athletes from 83 countries running the 42,195 metres from Marathon to the Panhellenic Stadium in central Athens, with over 30,000 registrations overall. The 38th marathon actually began at 8 o'clock this morning, and I wouldn't be too surprised. It's nearly almost finished now. There is a 10 and 5K races as well, but they're going to be held later on in the day. Anyway, the marathon returns after an absence because of the pandemic. And just to advise you, if you're in Athens today, keep a lookout. There will be traffic restrictions that are going to be en route until the late afternoon when the stragglers will all still be running in, but proud that they've done their marathon or whatever race they've taken part in. And all I can say, I wish them all the best, and I hope that they have a good day, despite the weather here being miserable. I'm not sure what it's like in Athens at the moment. Anyway, that's it from me. Just a quick reminder. Today is Remembrance Day. Can I just say to all RAF Reg buddies everywhere and all servicemen as well, whether you're serving or whether you're ex-forces, today is your day of remembrance, a day to remember those that have gone, those that fell as well. I know yesterday night there were lots of celebrations and meetings with ex-forces all getting together, seeing buddies they've not seen in a while, and knowing how important it is that this remembrance is kept alive. It is also kept alive here in Greece as well. So again, there will be, in certain areas, there'll be a remembrance to the fallen today by local societies, expats, etc., who will all have their own little service or ceremony somewhere across Greece to keep it in line with the UK and Remembrance Day there. So once again, Peragia to everybody. A quick shout out to Karen Bush, ex-RAF, also John Ward as well, ex-Forces, also Dave Camp as well, Amanda Morris, nice to see you tuning in. Brian Slinger as well, ex-RAF Reg buddy, Barbara Cocker as well, Also Amanda, also Tony Kaplianis as well. Nice to see you. In fact, your name has just reminded me. We are going out on the feeding rota this afternoon, so we'll be down at Zeppo, see how many cats are either hiding away or out looking for a food. If it's like, I can't believe last week it was 32 Celsius when we were out feeding the strays last weekend, but today I don't think we're going to see many strays. They'll all be bedded down somewhere to get out of the weather. But anyway, that's it from me for today. I will keep my ear to the ground. If I hear of anything, I will let you know. Ta-ra, catch you later. Bye.